Welcome to Be Less Stupid. I'm your host, John Hotchkiss. I have got a totally amazing show for everyone that is following the Trump-Russia scandal. It's one that I've been working on now for several weeks. It's the first time for TV that anyone has laid out chronologically every secret meeting, every secret phone call, every secret email that members of the Trump team had with Russians during the 2016 campaign for the presidency. So I'm telling you, do not click over now to another video. But first I want to remind everyone who is new to Be Less Stupid that you can see our nearly 100 previous episodes plus all the new ones by just liking our Facebook page. All you gotta do is click the like button. I think it's down here or over here. Anyway, well, that's all you gotta do. Also, you can go to our streaming service at factbox.tv. It's your antidote to fake news. Okay, so here we go. Every secret interaction between Team Trump and the Russians that we now know about. On October 13th, 2015, Trump lawyer Michael Cohen received a signed 17-page letter of intent from Russian-born Trump business partner Felix Sater that outlined a deal to buy property and build a lavish Trump Tower in Moscow, financed by a Russian billionaire.
We've met with a number of people, and we may do something in Moscow and in various parts of Russia, but we have had some meetings while I'm here.
3 months later, the Trump-Moscow deal is dead. The reasons, though, have not yet been made public. You should know that this deal was in place during part of the presidential campaign and was first revealed by CNN in September of 2017.
Well, Aaron, we've learned that Michael Cohen, President Trump's personal lawyer, was in talks with Moscow through an intermediary about a proposal to build Trump Tower there in Moscow during the campaign. In fact, Cohen said in a statement today that he emailed Russian President Vladimir Putin's spokesperson, Dmitry Peskov, for help on this project on behalf of the Trump organization.
In March of 2016, George Papadopoulos, a foreign policy advisor to the Trump campaign, meets with a British educator in Italy who brags of substantial Russia connections. 2 weeks later in London, Papadopoulos meets the same guy again, along with a Russian woman, introduced to him as Vladimir Putin's niece, who it is later revealed was a Russian spy attempting to lure Papadopoulos into a sexual affair. At the end of March, candidate Donald Trump unveiled his foreign policy advisors. According to recently released court records, during that meeting, Papadopoulos said that he had a connection who could help arrange a meeting between Trump and the Russian president. In early April, then campaign advisor Paul Manafort emailed a man in Moscow who works for him about money that he was owed by the Ukrainian government. Manafort also instructed Hope Hicks to disregard media questions about his own relationship with Russian oligarchs. On April 3rd of 2016, Papadopoulos emailed 7 Trump campaign officials regarding his Russia progress. The first of his many emails, subject line read, "Meeting with Russian leadership, including Putin." Papadopoulos persisted in his attempt to arrange a Trump-Russia meeting all throughout April of 2016. The existence of these emails was made public for the first time on August 14th of 2017.
Some sources that my colleagues and I have been talking with were able to read aloud to us and provide some quotes from a series of emails that are from inside the Trump campaign. And what these emails show is that a foreign policy advisor, a relatively low-level advisor, a volunteer to the Trump campaign, was almost every other week trying to tell the Trump campaign team about efforts by different groups of Russians to meet with Donald Trump and to meet with other members of the campaign.
In late April, Jeff Sessions and Jared Kushner met privately with the Russian ambassador Sergei Kislyak at the Mayflower Hotel in Washington, D.C. at a reception prior to a speech given by then-candidate Donald Trump. During his confirmation hearing in the spring of 2017, Sessions did not reveal this meeting.
And if there is any evidence that anyone affiliated with the Trump campaign communicated with the Russian government in the course of this campaign, what will you do?
Senator Franken, I'm not aware of any of those activities. I have been called a surrogate at a time or two in that campaign, and I did not have communications with the Russians, and I'm unable to comment on it.
However, Jeff Sessions did recall the meeting during subsequent testimony several months later. From the end of April through the middle of May, George Papadopoulos continued his email exchanges with Russians about arranging a meeting for Trump, details of which he shared with the campaign chair, Corey Lewandowski. Simultaneously, another foreign policy advisor, Carter Page, also suggested that Trump visit Russia. On May 21st, 2016, at the NRA convention in Kentucky, Donald Trump Jr. secretly spoke during dinner with a Russian banker that Spanish police have accused of being a mafia godfather. Earlier in that guy's career, the banker was a member of the Russian parliament affiliated with the same political party as Vladimir Putin. News of this meeting was kept secret for nearly a year and a half, until it was revealed on November 20th of 2017. During the third week of May 2016, Papadopoulos emails now campaign chair Paul Manafort about his progress in setting up a meeting between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. On June 9th, 2016, Donald Trump Jr. held a secret meeting in his office at Trump Tower with a Russian attorney who promised to provide incriminating information about the Hillary Clinton campaign, information that would come directly from the Russian government as part of their support to help elect Donald Trump President of the United States. The meeting was arranged by Trump Jr.'s friend, Emin Agalarov, the son of a Russian billionaire who owned the arena where Trump held the 2013 Miss Universe pageant in Moscow. This meeting was also attended by the campaign chair Paul Manafort and the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. This secret meeting was revealed by the New York Times on July 9, 2017, nearly a year after it took place.
All right, good morning, everyone. I'm John Berman.
And I'm Poppy Harlow, 10 a.m. Eastern. This morning, an admission from the president's son that some in the Trump campaign were willing to accept Russian help. Donald Trump Jr. now says in the summer of 2016 he met with a Russian lawyer who claimed to have information helpful to his father's campaign. Sources telling the New York Times that this woman claimed to have dirt on Hillary Clinton.
And not just Donald Trump Jr. who attended the meeting to find out what the attorney had to say. The president's son-in-law, now key White House advisor Jared Kushner, he was there, as was the campaign chair, Paul Manafort.
On June 19th, Papadopoulos told campaign chair Paul Manafort that he'd be happy to go to Moscow on behalf of the campaign to arrange the details for a Trump-Putin meeting. Meanwhile, simultaneously, Carter Page asked the campaign for permission to go to Moscow to attend an energy conference. On July 7th, in an email to his Moscow employee, Paul Manafort offered to brief a Russian oligarch on the current state of the Trump campaign. On July 8th, Carter Page visited Moscow for that conference. When it was over, he emailed Trump campaign superiors that he had held private conversations with Russians and would update everyone when he returned. On July 20th, Carter Page had a conversation with Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak during the GOP convention, where he discussed U.S. sanctions against Russia. In early September, in an interview with Russian media, George Papadopoulos said that Donald Trump is, quote, open to usher in a new chapter on Russian-U.S. relations. Meanwhile, then Senator Jeff Sessions had secretly met with the Russian ambassador at his Capitol Hill office. During the third week of September, Donald Trump Jr. is secretly contacted by WikiLeaks via Twitter. In an email to Steve Bannon, Kellyanne Conway, Jared Kushner, and Hope Hicks, Trump Jr. revealed WikiLeaks had reached out to him. Those conversations over Twitter continued through Election Day. Subsequent investigations reveal WikiLeaks' association with Russian officials. On November 8th, Donald Trump is elected the 45th President of the United States. On December 1st, just 3 weeks after Trump's election victory, Jared Kushner and Michael Flynn held a secret meeting in Trump Tower with Russian Ambassador Kislyak to discuss setting up a secret back channel inside the Russian embassy to communicate with the Kremlin during the transition. This secret meeting was first revealed by the Washington Post 6 months after it took place.
The Post reports that it was Kushner who asked for that secure channel and that the ambassador was, quote, taken aback. Neither the White House nor Kushner's attorney has commented. The FBI is looking at Kushner as part of their investigation into Russia's meddling in the 2016 election.
Of that meeting, former National Security Agency and CIA Chief General Michael Hayden said, "What manner of ignorance, chaos, hubris, suspicion, contempt would you have to think that doing this with the Russian ambassador was a good or appropriate idea?" 2 weeks after the Kislyak meeting, Kushner again met in secret, this time with the head of the Russian state-owned bank at Trump Tower in New York City.
He is Sergei Gorkov, handpicked by Russian President Vladimir Putin to run Russia's state bank, the Venezia Bank, nicknamed the VEB. This Russian banker was trained by Russia's spy agency, the FSB. Gorkov's bank, VEB, was embroiled in an FBI spying investigation. One of its own employees here in the U.S. accused of illegally gathering intelligence for the Russian government, and the bank paid for that person's defense. It is the same bank that has bailed out Russian oligarchs and has been under U.S. sanctions for nearly 3 years, punishment for Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
According to the New York Times, when Kushner submitted his paperwork for top-secret clearance, he would have been required to mention this meeting with the Russian banker and the other ones that he had with the Russian ambassador. However, he did not. And finally, on December 29, 2016, incoming National Security Advisor Michael Flynn had a secret phone call with the Russian ambassador that was picked up by U.S. intelligence. The call was kept hidden from the public for 6 weeks until it was revealed by the Washington Post. Lying about the substance of this phone call to the FBI resulted in Flynn pleading guilty to a felony and agreeing to cooperate with federal law enforcement investigating Russia's attempts to influence our election, and if and how they coordinated with Donald Trump and his administration.
Tonight, the ongoing Russia investigation has reached President Trump's innermost circle. Trump's former national security advisor, Michael Flynn, says that he is cooperating with the special counsel's probe into possible cooperation between the Trump campaign and the Russian government. Flynn pled guilty to repeatedly lying to the FBI, including making false statements about his December 2016 conversations with Russia's then ambassador to the U.S., Sergei Kislyak.
According to several media outlets, the subject matter of the December 29th Flynn call with Kislyak was directed by the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. So, in addition to the long list of in-person meetings secretly held by members of the Trump administration with the Russian ambassador and the head of the Russian bank, among several others, at the Mayflower Hotel, at the Trump Tower, at the NRA convention, the GOP convention, and in meetings in both London and in Italy, Reuters reports there were also an additional 18 phone calls between April and November of 2016 between members of the Trump team and Russian officials. That's right, 18 additional secret phone calls. And yet, in a press conference on February 16th, 3 weeks after his inauguration, President Trump was asked about any contacts that members of his administration had had with Russia during the campaign for president in 2016. And Trump said, "Russia is a ruse. I have nothing to do with Russia. To the best of my knowledge, no person that I deal with does."
Russia is fake news. This is fake news put out by the media. I have nothing to do with Russia. I told you. The whole Russian thing, that's a ruse. That's a ruse. How many times do I have to answer this question?
Can you just say
Russia
yes or no
is
on
a
it?
ruse. Yeah, I know you have to get up and ask a question, so important. Russia is a ruse. I have nothing to do with Russia.
Okay, so this was our episode outlining all the Trump administration's secret meetings and phone calls with Russia. On the next episode of Be Less Stupid, again, I'm going to do something that has not yet been done for television. I'm going to show you every time a member of the Trump administration lied about contacts with Russia while appearing on TV. from mid-2016 through 2017, and every time that they lied in print. If you want to see that episode, all that you got to do is like our Facebook page. It's got the same name as our streaming service, factbox.tv. I want to thank everyone for watching, and I will see you next time on Be Less Stupid. It's your antidote to fake news. And a very last reminder, if you would like to reach us, you can email us at info@belessstupid.com. Also, if you're interested in advertising, you can also reach us at the same email address. And I suppose if you would like to invest in factbox.tv and the television show Be Less Stupid, again, reach us at info@belessstupid.com. I'm John Hotchkiss, and I'll see you next time on Be Less Stupid.